Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have now pretty much every bit and piece of gaming departments out there. PC, Switch, Xbox, and everything now kind of somewhat collectively coming against PlayStation and somewhat making fun now of their upcoming price increases, and also kind of revealing some good news that pretty much every other big gaming department is not going to be following suit and is not going to be breaking on down and doing all these big crazy changes. It's also led to a lot of the internet kind of also being pretty anti on Sony themselves, and then just kind of a lot of crazy stuff all tied on in. So we have a lot of news to go cover, a lot of things that are, I guess, kind of good, kind of bad. It kind of just, I guess, depends on your perspective and all that. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Give me your thoughts and comments down below as well. You know, the Twitter and Twitch stream if you guys want to follow. We got the Target links, Amazon links, and all that. And let's dive into the news. So very first and foremost, we actually covered yesterday that the Xbox data pretty quick. Like, this was a pretty dang quick response to Sony. If you guys have been living under the rock, Sony and PlayStation 5s are actually increasing in price. Cover this on the video, on a different video itself. But thankfully, it's not being changed in America, where I do know a large majority of my audience lives at. But pretty much every other big major proper region is increased in price for the PlayStation 5. Now, when it comes to all this, it led to a huge storm of, is Xbox going to raise prices? Is Nintendo going to raise prices? What's going on? And now we actually finally officially have Nintendo's response to as well, where thankfully, and if in all honesty, my preemptive thoughts here, if there was ever a price increase on a 7-year-old console, God help me, I would hope if anything the Nintendo would finally go and decrease in price after all this time. But that's just me. But we do have an official response now from Nintendo that responds to PlayStation's price hike, where thank God they say that there is no plans now to increase the Switch's cost. So Nintendo has now joined Microsoft in responding to this week's shock of the PlayStation 5 price increase. Instead, it thankfully has no plans to similarly bump up the price of the Nintendo Switch cost. In a statement issued to Eurogamer this morning, Nintendo confirmed it has no plans to increase the trade price of its hardware. The response goes further than that of Microsoft, which last night noted Sony's dramatic decision by stating it was keen to offer our fans great gaming options before reiterating that the Xbox Series S and S's launch price point. So we kind of discussed this on those videos, but thankfully Xbox, as of right this second, we never know what could happen 6 months, a year, 2 years from now. But as of this second, they do not want to change prices. Now with this, PlayStation has also followed suit, and as well, even PC gaming on top of that, will be our next little segue into this, has also now made official statements saying, hey, no, we're probably going to be seeing price decreases. So think like the GPUs, CPUs, and all of that, they'll probably be going down. Besides, obviously if they launch a new one, but whatever, we'll get to that in a second. So Nintendo's full statement includes a quote from company president Shutaru Furukawa given during its June AGM, and then reiterates that Nintendo's prices are staying put for now. Here's that statement in full. As our president, Mr. Furukawa, stated at the 82nd annual general meeting of shareholders in June, while we cannot comment on pricing strategies, we currently do not have any plans to change the price of our hardware due to inflation or increase procurement cost in each country. We will determine our future pricing strategy through careful and continued deliberations. Now, I kind of like this too because it does kind of seem like PlayStation kind of somewhat jumped the gun, where they don't necessarily need to go and do this. Like, they don't necessarily need to go and increase the prices, because if many various other side things, and I'd almost want to make a video on to see if other people support this, they could just go and do other things like bundles or PS Plus, additional things. Like, they don't have any plans on that as of the second. And that's kind of rough. Like, you could just literally do it for free. Get like 3 months of PS Plus or something like that for free with, the offset of the higher prices. Are they going to do that? I don't know. Do I wish they would? Yes, it seems like a very easy, hey, we're in a bad situation, but at least here's some sort of benefit for you guys. They also go to say, while the final price to consumers is always determined by retailers, as he also said, Nintendo has no plans to increase the trade price. So that's like the normal, let's say they sell them for $260 per console to Walmart. Walmart makes $40 every console. They don't want to change that as well. So as you guys saw yesterday or 2 days ago, Sony stunned the games industry by announcing the unprecedented price increase for its PS5 base model, which would now cost £30 more and €50 more in Europe, which I still think is insane. Elsewhere in the world, Japan, China, Australia, Mexico, and Canada will also be seeing these price increases too as well, after Jim Ryan blamed it on high global inflation rates as well as adverse currency trends impacting consumers and all of that too as well. And as I mentioned too, a lot of folks are kind of like, bro, like, it's already hard to find as is, and people already kind of getting, a little bit messed up when it comes to prices and, salaries, inflation, gas, food, or whatever it may be, but it's kind of crazy to see. So basically, analyst David Gibson of MST Financial explained that Sony's decision was due to foreign exchange costs, which that was kind of still my main thought if you guys saw that initial video, is that we saw like the euro finally go decrease the 1-to-1 ratio, like stuff like that. So Sony would have budgeted on certain cross-rate values versus its cost in dollars. So it's kind of like, even though they're a Japanese-based company, they'd probably be basing most of their trades and stock and everything on the USD. So basically said freight rates have gone up, but the semiconductor market thankfully is improving and DRAM prices are falling. So it is kind of weird because the actual cost of shipping is going up. But it's also in the reverse where like other stuff such as semiconductors, which has been the big drama point for like the past 2 years, is thankfully getting better. The fact that Sony didn't change US prices shows how it's largely a forex situation versus cost in dollars and not inflation, which to me also makes sense. So basically, the news industry analyst Piers Harding Rolls suggested that, however unpopular this move might be, the changes were unlikely to put a dent up in demand or Sony's bottom line. Now, I'd be in the middle on that too. I think the demand might tone down a little bit in these other foreign countries, probably more so though in like 6 months or over a year, probably after the holiday season is done, and then probably around like March, April, I'm sure it'll be kind of a similar same old. So you guys give me your thoughts on that. But the part two is we've actually even now seen other comments coming out here from NVIDIA and also AMD CEOs. So as you guys know, those are like the biggest proponents of GPUs for both console, but as well also for PC, mainly for NVIDIA. So we actually did have this all on top of this too, where PC gamers, and we've covered this before, that the retail price, or more so suggested retail price, actually might keep on going down. I think this is sick. I think this is cool. Like, I think this is everywhere else, like PC, Microsoft, Nintendo, they're all like, bro, we're kind of chilling, we're gonna keep our prices. So this is why everyone's so like up in arms over PlayStation. So Jensen Huang, chief executive of tech company NVIDIA, did go and state the company had actually overproduced graphics cards. Like, they made too much, which had been in short supply in recent years. Our strategy is to sell the well before the current sell-through levels in the marketplace to give the channel an opportunity to correct, he said, according to The Verge. So this actually could mean that the price of high-end graphics cards, including the 3000 series, actually could end up having a falling price point. Same with gaming laptops too as well. So, like, this is some kind of also big news. It really seems like either GPUs, as they just mentioned, overproduced, as well as demand, third-party demand, scalper demand, etc. for all these cards have definitely also gone down. Now, this also is mainly related to the 4000 card series as well, because why would someone want to overpay or pay a very large price point when they know that the 4000 card series is coming out pretty soon? So in regards, when it comes to like, 4020s or 4060s, 4070s, 4080s, 4090s, etc., which obviously will probably be more inefficient in terms of power, more efficient in terms of like actual computing power, and like a better card overall. So it really is a strange thing, because everything else here in the gaming market, Nintendo, as we see on record right now, is chilling. Microsoft, as of currently, is chilling and is also still doing very well with their Xbox Series S. And then honestly, even PC too on top of this, it just seems like they're overall not having major big issues. So it's surprising to everyone, especially all the folks on Twitter too, because they're always surprised by everything, that PlayStation is even adjusting prices. So once again, now as we're kind of in like the secondary day, thankfully it is not for America, and I know a lot of my audience is American, not to go and dissuade anything from like the UK or anyone else in Canada who watches my videos too, because I know you guys are out there, but it's crazy just to see this. Like, I still have never really seen a mid-console generation price increase to this big of a margin, and I do think it's somewhat crazy to see. So give me your thoughts, give me your comments down below, and I just want to hear, do you guys like it, do you guys dislike it, or whatever. As well as make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We have the Amazon links down below, Target links down below, and the Twitter and Twitch room. Would love if you guys follow, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.